This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let me open the SQL console for our schema. Yeah, yesterday we have created some two tables, my underscore employee and my underscore department. So this is my underscore employee table and this is my underscore department table. Yeah, now we'll see what CE functions. CE functions. This CE functions, we call it as calculation engine functions. Calculation engine functions. Okay, so this calculation engine functions, we also call them as what calculation engine plan operators. Okay, or we call it as what CE operators, calculation engine plan operators. Okay, so I can say they are alternate to what SQL statements. Calculation engine function, they are alternate to SQL statements. They are faster performance wise. The C functions are faster than what a normal SQL statement. Okay, the reason for this is these C functions are executed in what calculation engine, which is more powerful than the SQL engine where the SQL statements are executed. Okay, I repeat, the C functions, they are alternate to what SQL statements. Performance wise, the C functions are faster than the normal select query, normal SQL statement. Okay, the reason for this is the C functions are executed in what calculation engine, which is more powerful than the SQL engine. So our normal select statement gets executed in what a SQL engine. So compared to SQL engine, the calculation engine is more powerful. Okay, that's the reason these C functions are faster than our SQL statement. So these C functions we can categorize into what two types. Okay, they can categorize into two types. One is we call it as data source access operators. Data source access operators, and another is what relational operator C functions. Relational operator C function. So this C function we can categorize into two types. One is data source access operators, another is relational operators. If you take this data source access operators, they are basically used for reading the data from column tables, or they are used for reading the data from modeling views. Okay, so they are used for reading data from what column tables, or they are used for reading the data from column tables, or from what, one second, or from, there is something called as SAP HANA modeling views. SAP HANA modeling views. And then we have what relational operator CE functions. They are used for what joining, what used for joining uh, what different data sets. So just like we use joins to get the data from what multiple tables, this particular relational operator CE functions, they are used for joining different data sets. So let's see an examples on this. So if you take this data source access operators, we have different data source access operators. One is C underscore column underscore table. They're all called as C functions. Then we have something called as C underscore join underscore view. Then we have something called as C underscore olap underscore view. Then C underscore calculation underscore view. Okay, they are the examples for what? Data source access operators. Coming to this relational operator C functions. Again, we have different C functions like C underscore join. Okay. Next, what? C underscore. Yesterday, we have seen four types of join: inner join, left order join, right order join, and something called as full join. So we have C underscore, left underscore, outer underscore join. Then we have C underscore, right underscore, outer underscore join. And what else? C underscore, what? Projection. C underscore projection. C underscore projection. C underscore union underscore all. Okay, then we have something called as C underscore what? Aggregation. Aggregation. Then we have something called as C underscore calculation. Like this, we have what? Many relational operator C functions. I repeat once again, those who are joined late. So just like yesterday, we have seen different functions like what? Conversion functions, datetime functions. Then we have different number functions, string functions. We have something called as what? C functions. Okay. These C functions, we call it as what? Calculation engine functions, or we also call it as what? C operators. Right. So what exactly the C functions is? The C functions, they are alternate to our select statements. They are alternate to our select statements. So compared to our select statements, C functions are what? Faster. Performance wise, C functions are faster than what normal select statement. The reason for this is in one of the session 2 weeks back, we discussed something called as components of HANA database or HANA architecture. Okay, so there we have seen different types of engines like calculation engine, SQL engine, something like that. So these C functions are executed in what? Calculation engine. If you take our select statements, they are executed in what SQL engine. So if you compare both this calculation engine and SQL engine, engine is very much powerful than what SQL engine. That is the reason C functions will perform better than what normal select statement. So these C functions we can categorize into what two types. One is called as data source access operators, another is relational operator C function. If you take data source access operators, they are generally used for reading the data from what column tables or from something called as what ANA modeling views. Then coming to relational operator C functions, they are used for reading, they are used for joining what different data sets. So just like we use joins, for joins are used for reading the data from what two or more tables. Similarly, by using this relational operator C functions, I can read the data from what multiple tables. So let's see how to use this particular C functions. So first, what I'll do is, yeah. So I'll be using these two tables, my underscore employee and my underscore department. One second. Yeah. So see here, I'll quickly create one procedure in a directly in the SQL console. I'll create the procedure. Create procedure. Yeah, assume that I want to develop a simple procedure. I want to develop a simple procedure which has to get the data from this particular table. okay, which has to get the data from a table called as what, my underscore employee. So how do we do it? Create procedure. I'll give the procedure name as something demo SQL. Okay, I'll not take any parameters. Directly I'll say as begin. I'll say select star from what is the table name? My underscore what? Employee. Select star from my underscore employee end. Let me execute this procedure. A procedure is successfully created. So what is my procedure is doing? It is just retrieving the data from one of the table. Then let me try to call the procedure. Also call demo SQL. Call demo SQL. Done. Let me execute this. I'll say F8. Yeah, what happened? I got the data from that particular table. So what I'm trying to do here, I developed a simple procedure, okay, which has to get the data from our database level. So I can directly write the select statement in the SQL console, but what is our agenda? I should able to call this procedure multiple times. I should able to call this procedure from our ABAP layer. So that is the reason I am writing that select statement inside the procedure. Okay, so inside the procedure I am trying to retrieve the data. We got the required result. Now same thing I want to achieve by using what, our C functions. Okay, so see what I'll do. I'll say create procedure. This would be little lengthy, lengthy for using this calculation engine function, but performance wise they're faster than our select statement. So create procedure, I'll say something demo C underscore. So if you see here, we have one of the column, what calculation engine function called as C underscore column underscore table. So create procedure demo C underscore column underscore table. You can give any name for the procedure. I'll not take any parameters. Then I'll say as begin. Okay, I'll just take itab is equal to, try to understand. What is the function I want to use? C underscore column underscore what? A table. So this particular function, it is used for reading the data from what? It is used for reading the data from column table. It is used for reading the data column table. So I'll say here itab is equal to C underscore what? Column underscore table. C underscore table. Inside this, I have to give the table name. What is the table name here? My underscore what? Employee. My underscore employee. Done. Then I'll say select star from what is our internal table? Itab. Also what? End. So the same procedure, the purpose of the procedure is same, to retrieve the data from one of the table, but instead of using the select query, I'm using what calculation engine function called as C underscore column underscore table. Let me execute this. Procedure is successfully created. Let me try to call the procedure. I'll say call demo C underscore column underscore table. So when I execute, then I got the data. Okay, so hope it's clear. What I'm doing here, instead of writing the select statement, I'm able to achieve the same functionality by using what, calculation engine function called as what, C underscore column underscore table. This calculation functions, they are faster than our normal select statement. How it is faster means, calculation engine functions are always executed in what, calculation engine, whereas select statements are executed in what, SQL engine. So in the HANA architecture, calculation engine is much powerful than what, SQL engine. That is the reason calculation engines are faster than what, our normal select statement. Okay. So in this case, what is happening here? My table has got how many columns? Some 5 columns. So in the result also, I got what? All the 5 columns. So every time we may not be interested to fetch the all the columns. No? We may require to fetch only few columns. Like suppose in the select statement, I want to get only employee number and employee name. So simply you'll just select employee number, comma employee name from so and so table. So I want to use a similar kind of thing in the calculation engine function. So I'll use, yeah, let me try to create a new procedure. So what is the requirement now? I don't want to retrieve all the columns. I want to retrieve only specific columns. So let me create another procedure. Demo C underscore column underscore table. I'll give the procedure name as something specific underscore columns. See the change here. As begin, I tab is equal to C underscore column underscore table. If I just give the table name, I'm getting all the fields. But I want to what? Select only two fields like employee number and employee name. So what you will do, you'll give comma, then in the square brackets, you have to give the column names, employee number, comma, employee name. That's all. See, that's all. Okay. Let me try to create the procedure. Yeah, procedure is what created. Let me try to call the procedure. Column table underscore specific columns. Done. When I execute, I got only what employee number and what employee name. Done. Okay, so I got the required data. Yeah, any questions so far?
Sir, this is Raj.
Yeah, Raj, tell me.
Is this apply only for the column store or both row store also?
Yes. No, it's only for column store. Not only column store tables.
Uh-huh.
We have something called as ANA modeling views. Okay,
Okay.
so we have something called as attribute view, analytical view, calculation views. So if you want to read the data from there also, you will be using this C function. So basically they are used for column table. So here you can say I give used for reading the data from column table. If you take a normal select query, we can use for both row store and what column store. But C functions, they are basically for column store only.
Yeah, I missed the first few minutes, so I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
follow it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Fine.
thank you.
One second, please. Yeah, what is that now? We have something called as, so if you see this C function, they are categorized into two types. One is data source access operators, another is relational operator. So in data source access operators only, you can observe it is used for reading the data from column tables or from SAP HANA modeling views. So we have something called as C join view, C OLAP view, C calculation view. So what is the C join view means? It is used for reading the data from column view. There is something called as column view. It is used for reading the data from column view, which gets generated whenever an attribute view is what created. I mean, say whenever the attribute view is what activated. Then similarly, we have something called as OLAP view. It is used for reading the data from column view, okay, which gets generated whenever an analytical view is what activated. Then we have C underscore calculation view. It is used for reading the data from column view, which gets generated whenever a calculation view is what activated. So when we come to ANA modeling views, we'll be discussing what attribute view, OLAP view, and sorry, attribute view, analytical view, and what calculation view. Okay, so whenever we create those views, some column views gets generated. Okay, so if you want to read the data from those column views, we can use this particular join view, OLAP view, or what calculation view. Okay, so yeah, now what I want is I want to use this particular function C join view, which is used for what reading the data from what column view, which gets generated whenever an attribute view is created. But at this stage, we don't know how to create the attribute views. One second, please. So since we don't know how to create the attributes view at this stage, let me go to 1 second. Yeah, I'm just checking for attribute use, simple attribute use. 1 second. Okay, done. Just give me 2 minutes time. Okay, so let me try to use this particular attribute view. We don't know what is attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view. Just ignore it. But in one of the schema, what is the schema? We have a sys underscore big. There is something called as column view here. Okay, this column view gets generated. Okay, this whatever I'm opening here, 80 and 80 indicates what is attribute view. Okay, so this column view gets generated whenever an attribute view is what created. So I want to read the data from this particular what column view, 80 underscore customer, which is part of which package, ABAP underscore HA it seems. So I'll say, yeah, I'll try to use that. Done. So earlier two examples, what I did here, I'm using a function called as C underscore column table, which is used for reading the data from what columns to table. Now I want to read the data from what ANA modeling views. ANA modeling views means we have attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view. Whenever we create them or activate them, some corresponding column view gets generated. So in one of the schema, sys underscore big, we have one column view called as 80 underscore customer. I want to read this. So I'll say create procedure. I'll give the procedure name as something attribute, read attribute view column view. Done. Then here I'll say as begin. I'll say itab is equal to what is that function name? C underscore join underscore what view. C underscore join underscore view. C underscore join underscore view. Then here I'll give that package name. What is that? ABAP ABAP underscore HA slash 80 underscore what customer. ABAP underscore HA slash 80 underscore customer. Done. Then I'll say select star from what is the internal table itab. Done. End. Let me try to create this procedure. F8. Oh, I got an error. Acha, I'm sorry. So see the error message here. What is the error I got? Invalid table name, could not find a table or a view ABAP underscore HA slash AT underscore customer in which schema? Gensoft HANA. I opened this SQL console on behalf of which schema? Gensoft HANA. So inside the procedure, what are the objects we refer? It will refer to that objects in the current schema. It is part of some other schema. Na? So what is the adjustment I'll do here? I'll say I'll prefix that particular column view name with the schema name. It is available in which schema? Sys underscore what? Big. Sys underscore big dot. So probably this should work. Let me execute this F8. Oh, I got an error. Probably, yeah, I missed the double quotes here, right? Let me execute now. F8. Yeah, the procedure is what? Created. Okay, since it is part of some other schema, I need to prefix to dot sys underscore bit. Let me try to call the procedure. Call done. F8. Yeah, I got the data from what? That particular column view which got generated whenever an attribute is got created. Okay, so I got some data here. Now here also I don't want to use what? I don't want to get all the columns. I want to get only what? A specific column. So what is the change I'll do here? Let me go for creating another procedure. Yeah, I'll give the procedure name as let me get as something 01. So what is the change here? C underscore join view, same this thing. Okay, here I'll say comma, just like earlier also. When I'm using the C column table, if you want a specific projection list, that projection list will give it in what? This particular square bracket. So here also, I'll try to give that in the square brackets here. Yeah, here in this. What are the columns I want to get? I will give only customer number and what? A name one. I want only two columns, customer number and name one. So I'll say customer number, comma, what? Name one. That's all. Okay. Let me try to create this. Procedure got created. Let me try to execute 01 F8. Yeah, I got only what? Two columns. Yeah, hope it's clear. Right. So we got the data with what? Specific projection list. Like this, we can also use what? The other function, C overlap view and what? Calculation view. Right. So anyhow, we'll be discussing this when we come to what this HANA modeling views. So let us not focus much on this. Yeah. Now what I want is, uh, one second. One second. Yeah, here, if you want the specific projection list, what I'm doing here, C column table, my employee, done, 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 done. Okay. Yeah, now let me go for this one. We have a function called as what? C underscore what? Join. C underscore join here. So my requirement is try to understand what is the purpose of this relational operators. They are used for joining what different data sets. So just to give a clear picture on that, yesterday we have seen some four types of joins: inner join, left outer join, right outer join, full join. When do we go for those joins? Whenever you want to retrieve the data from multiple tables using a single select query, we'll go for what joins. So here what is my requirement is we have two tables. What are they? My employee and what? My department. Let me close this things. Yeah, we have my employee table which has got five columns, my department table which has got some three columns. So I want to get the data from those two tables without using our joins in the select query. I want to make use of what? C function. So see the technique here. So I want some three columns from employee table like employee number, employee name, and DEPT number. and from department table also I want to get department number and department name. So overall 5 columns I want to get. I don't want to use select statement with join. Instead I want to use what? Join. So see here, create procedure, create procedure, uh, demo. I must go for procedure. I cannot directly use that on the SQL console. If it is if it is an independent select statement, directly I can write it on the SQL console. Since it is a C function, I have to make use of that inside a procedure. So calculate, create procedure, demo C underscore what? Join. Then I'll say as begin. I'll take two internal tables, I tab 1 equal to, I'll say C underscore column underscore table. First I'm using what? C underscore column underscore table. Already we know this function. It is used for reading the data from what? Column store table. So what is the first table I want to read the data? My underscore what? Employee. My underscore employee. Then the projection list, I'll give some 3 columns, EMP number, ename and what? Department number. Done. Then I'll say I tab 2 is equal to, again I'll use the same function, C underscore column underscore table. What is the second table here? My underscore what? My underscore department. Then what are the columns I want to use in the projection list? 2 columns. Let me use department number and department name. So I'll say department number comma D name. Done. So you will get what? Two different internal tables. One is I tab 1, another is what? I tab 2. Now I have to join these two. So I'll say I tab 3 is equal to, try to understand, I tab 3 is equal to C underscore join, C underscore join. Yeah, what are the two internal tables? One is I tab 1, I tab 1 comma I tab 2. I need to prefix with colon here. I tab 1 comma I tab 2. Done. I tab 1 comma I tab 2. Acha. One important point here. If you are using any join, that is if you are using inner join or left order join, whatever it is, in the select statement, what you have to do, we have to compare the logically related field na, by using on statement. Select so and so, inner join so and so, on E dot department number equal to D dot department number. So you have to compare the logically related field between the two tables by using what? On statement. So here also, what is the logical related field between these two tables? Department number na? So that logical related field you have to use separately here. Department number, sorry, department number. I need not give double quotes, even if you give also no problem. Then you have to give the rest of the projection list. I want employee number, employee name. What else? Let me again select what? Department number and department name. Department number, department, that's all. Then I'll say select star from, what is the internal table? I tab 3. Okay, so I'm using the C column table. We should get the data in I tab 1 and I tab 2. Then again, based on these two internal tables, I'm using what? C underscore join. This is first table. Once again, let me switch on the laptop charging. Yeah, so this is first table, this is the second table, and this is the logically related field. So just execute this. Yeah, it is created. Let me try to call that. Call, what is the function name? Demo C underscore join. When I execute, yeah, I got the data, employee number, employee name, department number, and department name. Done. Working fine. Okay, it is working fine. Okay, so we are using the function what? C underscore join. It is used for what? Joining the data from what? Two local uh, table variables. These I tab 1 and I tab 2 are what? Temporary internal tables. We are using that in the C underscore join. Similarly, we have what? C left order join, C right order join, C projection, all those things. Let me quickly use them. So now what I want is, Let me use C underscore join is over now. Okay. I want to use same kind of thing. I want to use what is the data I got? Yeah, I got this data now. One second. Yeah, this data is not in sorted order. My requirement is I want to get this data. I want to get this data in an order based on what employee number. So see the adjustment that I'll do. So if you want to retrieve the data in order, in our select statement we use order by class. Na? Here also same thing. So I'll use the same C join function with what order by class. So simple change I'll do. Let me copy this. So the change I'll do is I'll give the procedure name as join 01. Same thing. C column table employee number done. Everything will remain same. Here what I'll do is select start from so and so. I will say order by what EMP number. So what I'm trying to show is even though this is not a database table, I can still use what order by class. So earlier result, if you see, this is the result I got. Now I am trying to what sort the data based on employee number. Let me try to execute this. F8. Yeah, it is successfully created. Let me try to call that demo underscore join 01. Then I got the data. Yeah, in the sorted order of what employee number, working fine. Right now, let me try to use. So I can say the C underscore join is similar to what join? Anyone? C underscore join is similar to what? Inner join. Inner join. Okay, so here we don't have any separate like inner here, but you have to understand that this is similar to what inner join. What is the concept of inner join? It will pick up the common records between what those two tables. Once again, I'm having the mic issue. Just hold on, please. Okay, right. So see here, this is inner join. Let me try to use other function. What is that? We have left order join. Okay, so let me. Earlier, what is the result I got? How many records I got? I got 14 records. So what is the concept of inner join? It will pick up only the matching records between the two tables. I got overall 14 entries here. Now I'll make a slight adjustment here. 02 or 03. Same thing. C column table, my employees so and so done. Now instead of using C underscore join, I will use what C underscore left underscore outer underscore what join. C left order join I tab 1 comma I tab 2. What is the logic related field? Department number, employee number, so and so done. Select start from I tab 3 order base. So what is the only change? Just I'm changing the function name. Let me try to create this. F8 procedure is successfully created. Let us call it. Call demo C underscore join 0203. Right. So earlier case I got what 14 records. Now when I execute this, I got what 16 records done. So it is also picking the records from what right hand side. What is the purpose of left order join? It will pick up all the records from what left hand side table. So if you see the employee table STVS, it has got some 16 records. Okay, it has picked all the 16 records. Let me cross check. my underscore employee table. Yeah, we have what 16 records. So I got all the 16 records here. I got all the 16 records. The deficiency is there what right hand side means in the right hand side I don't have any record related to the record number 50. So that is filled with what this null values. So that is what left outer join. Similarly, I can use what right outer join. I can use a right outer join. What is the only change? I'll give the procedure name as something 04. Everything is same. Instead of using left outer join, I'll be using right outer join. C underscore right outer join. Rest of things is same, right? I type the order by employee number. Done. Let me try to execute this. So what is the concept of right outer join? It will consider all the records of what right hand side table. Even though there is no matching records in the left hand side, it will still pick up all the records of right hand side, and in the left hand side the deficiency records will be filled with what blank values, that is null values. So when I execute, yes, the procedure is created. Execute this. Yeah, you can see here. Yeah, you can observe here in the department table. If you observe, we have four records. What are the department numbers? 10, 20, 30, 40. So if you see the result here, I even got 40, but there is no employees who are working in the department number 40. So the left hand side has got the deficiency. It has filled with what? This particular null values. Okay. So hope it's clear to everyone. Now let us see other function. Yeah, we have what C underscore projection. What is the C underscore projection? As the name itself suggests, it is used to project the specific fields. Okay, and after projecting the specific fields, we can rename the output columns, and also we can do the row filtering. Like row filtering in the sense, if you take our select statement, we use where class now. Where class. So if you want to get any conditions, we can achieve that by using what this particular C underscore what projection. So let's see that. Create procedure. I'll give the procedure name as something demo calculation engine underscore what projection. Done. As begin. So as usual, I'll say I tab 1 is equal to okay. Okay. Right. 1 second, please. Yeah, already I covered C underscore column underscore table. Na? Yeah, see the way I covered here. First, when I say in this procedure, if you see C column table, I just gave the table name. What it will do? It will pick up all the columns, all the records. It will pick up all the columns, all the records. Now, if you see the second example, third example here, it will pick up only two columns, employee number and what employee name, but all the records. Two columns, but with all the records. So my requirement now is what I want only few columns, as well as I want to implement some where condition. Means I want only those records. I want only those records whose salary is what something greater than 3,000, whose salary is something greater than 3,000. So when I say greater than 3,000, obviously I should get only what 13 records. Means 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 should be ignored. So I should get only 13 records. So I want projection plus I want to implement the where class. So see the technique here. Yeah, create procedure demo C underscore projection. So first, how do you read the data from the column table? Just you have to use the function C underscore column underscore table. What is the table name? My underscore employee. So if I directly query from iTab 1, I'll get all the columns, all the records. But I want to what project only few columns out of 5 columns. We have 5 columns. I want to get only employee number, employee name, salary and department number. I don't want to read what? Employee designation. And also I want only those salaries which are greater than 3,000. So here I'll say I tab 2 is equal to C underscore projection, C underscore projection. What is that internal table name? I tab 1, comma. This I tab 1 contains what? Complete records, all the columns. I tab 1. Now I have to give the projection list. What is that columns I want? I want only employee number, employee name, employee number, employee name. What else? I want a salary. What else? I want department number. So except employee designation, I'm pulling the rest of the columns. Department number. Yeah, here I'll say, okay, yeah, in single quotes. Okay, in single quotes. Yeah, what is that column? Salary greater than 3,000. Let me cross check the syntax. C projection, I tab 1, projection list I give, then I give the filter condition. This is called as filter condition. Yeah, it may work. Let me check. Select star from I tab 2. That's all. Let me execute. Yeah, the procedure is successfully created. Let us invoke it. Call demo C underscore what? Projection. Demo C underscore projection. Execute this. Good. Yeah, I got only 4 columns and I got how many records? Only 13 records. So whose salary is what? Greater than what? 3,000. Yeah, working fine. Working fine. Okay. So this is similar to what where class only na. Now when I'm using the where class, I can give what multiple conditions na, by using what and operator or what or operator. Here also I can use this particular C and S projection with multiple filter condition. This is considered what single filter condition. I want to project multiple filter condition. So what is my requirement is 1 second. Yeah, in this case, how many records I got? 13 records I got, na? Hmm. Yeah, what I want is here the condition is same. Salary is greater than 3,000 and also department number should be 30. Okay, so two conditions. What is that? Salary should be greater than 3,000 and department number should be equal to what? 30. So simple adjustment that we need to do is demo C underscore projection. Let me give it as something 01. Everything is same. I tab 1, employee number, employee name, salary, department salary is greater than equal to, yeah, I can say like this also. It's my wish, greater than equal to 3,000 and okay, depending on the requirement you have to use either and operator or what or operator and what department number equal to 30. Yeah, just maintain some space, department number equal to 30, that's all. So only changes I'm using the and operator there. Let me try to execute. Oh, I got error. Syntax error in what? Filter expression. Why? Oh, I'm sorry, I have not closed the double quotes here. Syntax error in filter expression, line 6, column 66. So somewhere here only, depart number equal to 30. Done. Yeah, it should work now. F8, the procedure is created. Let me try to invoke the procedure. 01, when I execute, I got 6 records. Yeah, greater than or equal to 3,000 and department number is equal to what? 30. 30. Done. Acha, one more thing I can do here. What is that? I want the same thing. I want multiple filter condition. I want to rename the output columns. Here, what are the column names I'm getting? employee number, employee name, salary. The original columns I'm getting. I want to rename the column name. So if you take our select statement, we can give it aliases. Here also, I want the similar kind of thing. So see the technique here. Let me copy this. Yeah, I'll give the procedure name as what projection 02. I tab my employee done. C projection I tab 1. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me try to change it only for one column. Everything is same. I don't want to disturb that. Yeah, here only for employee number. Somewhere here, I'll say EMP number as 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 what you want to show there. I want to show it as what employee number like this. You can change it for all the columns. So for every column you have to say what as. That's all. Yeah, done. So let's start from I tab 3, I tab 2. Yeah, that's all. Let me execute this. Yeah, it is successfully created. Let me try to invoke. Yeah, what I got, employee number. Like this, if you want to change it for other columns also, you can change. Hope it's clear. Okay. Then here, let me, based on this projection only, let me try to get other thing. So I'll say projection 02. Create procedure. What else is there? C underscore union all. Okay. So demo C underscore. Let me give the name as demo C underscore. I'll give it as something union. I tab 1 equal to C column to my employee. This is my projection list. I tab 1 employee number. Okay, I'll not get any column name just to avoid confusion. I'm not renaming the output column. Employee number, employee name, salary. Yeah, here I'll give the condition as something. Salary is what, less than or equal to what, 2000. Yeah, less than or equal to 2000. Done, done. Okay, I'll say, yeah, I'll say I tab 3 is equal to, I tab 3 equal to C underscore projection I tab 1 only. I'll give employee number, employee name, salary. Yeah, just to avoid confusion, I'll remove the department number also. I will select only 3 columns, department number, and here I'll give the salary as what? Salary as greater than 3000, greater than 3000. Done. Yeah, done. And here I'll say I tab 4 is equal to what is the function I want to use? C underscore what, union, union all, C underscore union underscore all, C underscore union underscore all. Okay, what are the internal tables? I tab 2 and I tab 3. I tab 2 comma I tab 3. I tab 2 comma I tab 3. Done. Select star from what is the final internal table? I tab 4. That's all. So let me execute this. Yeah, process is created. Let me try to invoke. Call demo C underscore what, union. Done. F8. How many records I got? 15 records. Actually, if you see the employee table, we have overall 16 records. So try to analyze this. I got only 15 records except the salary 3000. I got the rest of the records. So what is the condition I wrote here? Here salary is less than or equal to 2000, means it will pick up this first two records. What is the second condition I gave? Salary is greater than 3,000, not equal to. Means it will ignore this 3,000 salary record. Rest of the records will consider because it is greater than what? 3,000. So itab 2 has got what? itab 2 has got two records and itab 3 has got some 13 records. What I am doing here, I am merging both of them by using what? C underscore union underscore all. So I'll get the sum of those two. 2 plus what? 13. I got what? 15 record. That's what the result I got. Hope it's clear. Union means it will merge both the records. Now based on this only, okay, what I gave here, itab 1 and itab 2. Based on this only, let me try to use group by class. Can we use group by class here? Okay, I'm not selecting department number. So let me try to select the department number. See the change here. I want to use this one now. What is that? C underscore what? Aggregation. So see the technique here. Demo procedure, demo C underscore. I'll give the name as something aggregation. C underscore aggregation. I tab 1 equal to C column table. I don't want all the columns. Let me get only what salary and what department number. Salary and department number. Done. Okay.
Sir, you're editing the previous one, not copied.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, it will be a problem for me. 1 second. Yeah, demo C underscore what aggregation. Demo C underscore aggregation. I tab 1 equal to C column table my employee. I want to get two columns. Let me get salary and what department number. Salary and department number. Yeah, same thing. It's the same as union all. Yes, Sri Lakshmi. It's the same as union all. Salary and what department number. Let me use one more this thing. I tab 2 equal to I tab 2 equal to C column table. My employee, not my employee, my department I'll take. My department. What are the columns here? Department number and department name. Department number and department name done. Then here let me say I tab 3 equal to C underscore not projection. I'll be using join. C underscore join. I tab 1 and I tab 2. Where selection in which one you are saying? It should be same. Then only I can club. It should be same. Then only I can combine.
In case if the field names are different also, it's not possible to combine, sir.
Acha, here you are saying in union all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I'll come to that point. Just hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I tab 2 is equal to department number, department name, C underscore join. I tab 1. I tab 1. What is the other internal table? I tab 2. I tab 2. I tab 2, C join. I tab 1, comma, I tab 2. Okay. What is the logical related field here? Department number. Department number. Okay, department number. Then I have to give the rest of the columns here. What are the salary I want in output? I want the department number. I want again I'm using C join. I think your for your question answer will be there in this example. Salary comma department number department name. Yes, okay. Then I'll say itab 4 is equal to C underscore aggregation. C underscore aggregation. C underscore aggregation. What is the final internal table here? itab 3. Yeah, itab 3. So I have to use aggregation. itab 3 comma. What is the aggregation function? I want to use sum. Sum of what? Salary. Sum of salary. If you want, you can give the alias name. I'll give the alias name as what? Net salary. Yeah, net salary. Then I want the projection list. I'll give department number and what? Department name. Department number and department name. Done. Then here I'll just select start from itab 4. Yeah, one second, let me cross check. Demo C aggregation column table my employee salary department number. Okay, and from department table I'm selecting department number and department name. Fine. Then I'm using join here. itab 1, itab 2.
Sir,
Depart.
join to the itab 2 with the colon.
Sorry. itab 1 colon itab 2. Done. Department number is a logic related field. Salary department number department name. Fine. Then aggregation, I'm doing it on itab 3, sum of salary. Done. Okay, done. Let me try to execute this. Yeah, no problem. Process is successfully created. Now I'll say call. What is that? Demo C underscore what? Aggregation. Demo C underscore aggregation. So I have to get the sum of salaries. I should get the sum of salaries when I execute. Yes, I got department wise sum of salaries. Done. Here also I can use what? Order by class I can use. So I got department name done. Yeah, select me is your what question is clarified. Here I'm having different columns. I tab 1 if you take, I'm having salary and department number. I tab 2 if you take your department number and department name. If you observe in this case, both I tab 2 and I tab 3 are having what same columns, employee number, employee name, salary. Here it is having different, na? So we have to give something like this. If they are different, okay, I have to give that common field between these two and the rest of the columns I have to give. See, Lakshmi, this is what your doubt?
Not exactly, sir.
Hmm.
In case if my employee table is there, no, in that
Okay,
you have in the fields of employee number, employee name, and the salary, and
okay.
in
Hmm.
uh, and in itab 2 you have taken sorry, in itab 3 employee number, instead of that employee number, if I have
Sure.
renamed the employee number as employee ID, and the
One
remaining
second.
fields will be same.
Yeah, I understood. So you want in the same thing, na? So I'll
Uh,
say, let me create that union 01. I'll say, so same thing. Yeah, you want to rename what here?
employee number as employee ID.
Acha, here only, na? Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, let me try to check this. Employee ID. Hmm. Yeah, union all done. Let us see what is the error we'll get. F8. Yeah, I got a error. What is the error I'm getting here? Input parameters do not have the same table type. Attribute name, EMP number different from what? Attribute name. So I'm using what here? Union all now. So it is saying that the column names should be what? Same. The understanding
Okay.
is attribute names should be same.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then what else is there? C underscore cal. Can I cover this now? Yeah, just last 2 minutes. So what is the purpose of the C underscore cal is? It is used for constructing what calculated column outputs. Calculated column output. So if you see in the earlier scenarios, in the earlier sessions, when I'm using the yesterday session only, I think when I'm using the select statement, I'm using some calculation like salary into 1.5 as what Ike's salary. So I'm doing some calculations in the select statement only. So we can achieve the similar kind of thing here also. So how to achieve this here? Let me just quickly create procedure. I'll give the name as something demo C underscore what calculation, demo C underscore calculation done as begin. One second, as begin. What I'll say, I tab 1 is equal to, one second please, one second. Okay, we have order ID, order date is there, price is there, quantity is there. Let me use this. Do we have data in this? Okay, I'm having some data, fine. So I'll be using this particular table. I tab 1, okay, I tab 1 equal to C underscore column underscore table. What is the table name I want to use now? Sales underscore data, sales underscore data. Done. What is the projection list I want? I will take order ID. I'll take. What else is there? Order data. Yeah. Order ID is there. Order date is there. Price is there. Quantity is there. Done. So order ID. I'll take order date. Then I'll take something price. Then I'll take something what? Quantity. Close the projection list. Done. Then I'll say I tab 2 is equal to. Now let me use C underscore projection. C underscore projection. What is the internal table here? I tab 1. I tab 1 comma. I tab 1 comma. Order ID, order date, price, quantity. Na? Yeah. Let me select. Okay. For our better clarity, I'll write in the next line. This is the projection list I'll take. One is order ID. Then I'll take what? Order date. Then I'll take what? Price. Then I'll take what? Quantity. So as usual, I'm taking all the 4 columns. Then here I'll say I'll try to use a function called as C underscore what? Cal. What is the formula here? Price into what is the other column? Quantity. Yeah. Price into quantity. Done. Price into quantity. Yeah. Price into quantity. Done. Okay. Let me close here. But I should give the alias name. Let me check. Let me check the syntax. Done. I'll close this. Done. Here I'll say select star from. Select star from what is the internal table? I tab 2. I'll say let me cross check once. Okay, this is 4 column. Then I'm giving the projection. Yeah, here only I'm saying C underscore cal price into quantity. Then this is okay. Done. Done. Let me check whether I'll get any syntax error. I got an error. Incorrect syntax near so and so. Line 12. Here only there's a problem. Okay, I think I need to give here only it's giving the problem. So I need to
Space
specify that. Sorry, space.
Yeah, now can do now.
Let me check. No, still same problem. I think I need to specify the data type here. 1 second. Done. Let me check. No, interior is giving the error here. Price into quantity, integer. Should I give the column alias here? I'll say as, because I'm not giving the column alias. Let me give it as something. Net price. Let me check this. No, I got the same issue there. C underscore color. Shall I maintain space here also? Spaces it should be there. Let me check. No, I'm getting error here. Incorrect syntax near integer. Price into quantity. I close this also. This calculation I'm closing here. Okay, done. One second. Let me check this syntax. Oh, yeah. Problem is I have to give comma, not space. Okay, done. So process is created. Let me try to call that. Call demo C underscore calculation. F8. Yeah, what I got? Net price. Good. You can see here. I gave some formula. What is the price into quantity 75 so on so on. Okay, price into quantity is what? Net price. So I need to specify the data type also. What is the result I want? Whether you want in decimal format, whether you want in integer format like this. So I gave it as integer, that's why you can see I don't have any decimals. Even though price is having what decimals, I'm not getting the decimals here because I clearly gave it as integer. If you want in decimal, just give it as a decimal. It will work. Okay, so this is the purpose of what C underscore cal. It is used for constructing what calculated columns. Okay, so like this we can use what C function, but again going forward HANA database may not support what may not support C functions because the simple reason is the SQL engine itself they are building it powerfully. Okay, so initially when the HANA was released, we have the two options. One is whether to use the select statements or to use a C function. So in the initial releases, C functions are faster than what the select statements. But what SAP is saying is going forward, they are going to make the C functions as absolute. Means the SQL engine itself will be built powerfully. So we need not worry about the performance. But again, this is only for what? Knowledge sake. So it is a developer choice whether to use calculation functions or directly use what select statements. Okay, so if you see what performance wise C functions are faster, but in the coming versions SAP is not going to support this C function. So till that time we can use this particular C functions. Done. So we are done with this functions concept also, the standard functions. Tomorrow what we'll do is we'll discuss these two things, indexes and views. They are small topics only. We'll be discussing these two and we'll wind up this native HANA development so that we can start with what other things, AMDPs and other things. Okay, so tomorrow we'll wind up this native HANA development.
I have one quick question, Sridhar. Can I ask you?
Yes, Srinivas, tell me.
Yeah, this, when you are writing the itab one, directly you are writing the table. Suppose if it is a sales data or something, VB or care VB, RP something, there we can write the where condition.
Okay. So here in this example you are saying,
Yeah, but suppose I need only 2018 year data. So,
hmm,
millions of data is there. If I use like
yeah,
this, it
yeah,
may become millions of data.
correct, understand. So see here, if you see the earlier example,
Yeah.
see projection like this, you want to give the condition. Na?
Yes.
Yes, we can give. Okay,
Okay.
just after giving this projection list,
Mm.
separate with comma. Okay, and
Yeah.
give the condition whatever you want. Order date is greater than or equal to so and so. Yes, we can
Uh,
give. Here
yeah.
again, if you don't want to hard code, if you don't want to hard code, pass that value as a parameter. Already in the procedures we know how to pass parameters now. So in what some ABC, what some date. So you compare with what here salary less than or equal to what ABC. If you don't want to hard code the value, you can
Yeah.
pass it as a parameter. Yes, we can very much do it. Possible.
Okay, I understand. But basically, this procedure can use for just like in a BOS report purpose, correct?
Which procedures? This procedure.
Yeah, the SQL procedures.
You want to use it in BO reporting, huh?
No, no, no. But basically, I am asking where to use these procedures, SQL. But for the report
Sorry.
purpose, by report
Yeah,
purpose, we create this
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah. Reporting only. Reporting only. Reporting only.
Okay.
So
Uh,
once a procedure is created, I
mm,
can consume it from what ABAP layer, na? So when
yeah,
I'm consuming from the ABAP layer, we'll just call that. We'll create the proxy and we'll call it. So obviously, at the end, you can see the procedure is returning me some data only. So that data is nothing but for reporting purpose.
yeah. Basically, in the
Hmm.
can you have the 2 minutes? I ask question, or
Yeah,
we
no, no problem, no problem.
But basically in the ABAP, we are writing the interfaces, we are reading the applications, or somewhere we can read the file, and that file we can do our calculations or whatever the things we do, and we can post to the applications. The similar like we can do here in the SQL procedures.
Okay, there in our traditional ABAP, what we'll do is, okay, what you are saying is, you are reading the data from a file. You are saying, na?
Yes.
Okay, you'll read the data from the file by using some statements like open data set, whatever it is. So that data, what we'll do, we'll put it in the internal table, and we'll use that internal table for processing, some doing some calc, and then we'll report it. So here also, you want to do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what the thing you have to do is the data is there in the file. So first of all, the data should be migrated from the file to what HANA database.
Okay.
Okay, how do you migrate to HANA database? By using some SLT tools, SAP landscape transformation tools. We are going to what migrate the data from the legacy system file to HANA database. If you observe somewhere in the first session or second session, I shown one Excel file. The data is there in the Excel file. Okay, that data we have imported to what our table. Okay, so same thing by using the SLT tools. By using SLT tools, we'll migrate the data from the file to the HANA database tables. Once the data is there in the HANA database tools, what you have to do, we have to play with the data for reporting purpose. So how do you play with that particular data? We'll be creating these procedures, we'll be creating these AMDPs, where the entire business logic will be pushed to what HANA database. So inside the procedure, I can read the data from those tables and I can manipulate the data. Then I can return the data for reporting purpose. You understood?
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
if
I
you
make
take, yeah, if you take a traditional ABAP, just let me just, if you take a traditional ABAP, what you'll do, that you are saying that the data is there in the file and you want to use the data for reporting purpose. So what you'll do, assume that the data is there in the application server. So we'll write some ABAP program.
yeah.
Okay, in that ABAP program, what you'll do, we'll open the file, assume that if the file is there in the application server, we'll use something called as open data set. We'll open the file, Then we'll start reading the file from first line to last line. Okay, we'll use some not do and do. There we use what?
Yeah, you can write.
Do and do and only. Okay, we'll start reading the data from the file, read
Yeah.
data set statement. Okay, and somewhere we are going to append each line. We are going to append each line to what? Internal table. So at the end of the loop, the entire data will come and sit in what? Internal table. So once the data is there in the internal table, you will again loop your internal table. You'll do some calculations or you'll do some processing. You'll delete the unnecessary data, whatever it is. Then after that, what you'll do? We'll use this internal table data for reporting purpose. Means we'll use some write statement or we'll use some ALV technique to display the data. What this thing? This is a traditional ABAP. So if you take our HANA database, what you will do? You are saying that the data is there in the file. Okay, so assume that the data is there in some Excel file. Okay, so if you refer to the first or second session, I used a tool called as import utility tool. We have some utility tool called as import. By using this import tool, we can migrate the data from what? This Excel file to what? Your HANA database tables. Okay. So now the entire data is there in the table. So what you have to do? I have to use this particular table data for reporting purpose. So in the traditional ABAP, what you are doing, we are pulling the data from that database table to the internal table by using some select statement. Here, what you will do, you will create the stored procedure, or you'll create something called as what? Stored procedure, or you'll create something called as what? AMDPs, or you'll create something called as CDS views. What is the agenda of these things? We will push our business logic to what? HANA database. So inside the procedure or AMDPs, what you will do? We'll read the data from your database table into some temporary internal tables. You'll do some processing on that. Then we will return that particular internal table data. So application server is only responsible for what? Displaying the data from what? Internal table. The entire business logic is executed inside what? This stored procedure only. But whereas here what you are doing, we have to retrieve the data from the database table to internal table, and we have to process your internal table at the application layer. But whereas here the entire business logic, this procedure or AMDP or CDS view, everything gets executed in what? HANA database itself. So the final data would be there in what? Internal table. This internal table data will what? Return it to the application server only for what? Displaying the data. That's all. Okay. If you want this kind of example, going forward, we are going to discuss something called as ALV IDA. ALV IDA. So there I'll take the similar example. The data is there in the file. My customer wants to display the data from the file in some reporting format for analysis purpose. So first thing what we'll do, we'll migrate the data from the file to what? HANA database, and by using some code push down techniques, we'll manipulate that particular data, and that final data will return it to the presentation layer just for what? Displaying purpose.
Just stage level. Okay.
You understood?
Yeah, I got. But when you are writing in the stored procedure, but in the SQL editor, we can we can do call transaction. Suppose it's FB01 or
No.
Okay.
We can't.
Just
So
report.
if you want to achieve that kind of requirement, what you have to do is, anyway, you're returning the data to the application server, the final data. So once the data is there in the internal table in the application, then in that ABAP program layer, I can use those statements, call transaction, whatever it is. But I cannot do this. I cannot execute these statements at the HANA database level. Okay. These statements can be executed only in the application layer. So for that, you process your data and return the final data. In that final data, you write the appropriate statement, that's call transaction, all this thing. This is done at the ABAP program level, which is executed in the application layer, not in the HANA database.
So we can write in the HANA ABAP layer, correct?
HANA ABAP layer will write these things.
Call transaction.
Yeah, these things. Okay. Yeah, in the ABAP perspective, In the ABAP perspective, we have that ADT tool, ADT tool, ABAP development tool. So in that I can write the code to write that statements, call transaction, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah, even any BAPs, RFCs, anything we can.
Everything, yes.
Okay.
In the ABAP perspective, internally it makes use of something called as ADT tool, ABAP development tool. In that I can write our normal ABAP statements, call transaction or call function model or call any BAPs, you can write it there. Not in the HANA database level. You have to write it in the ABAP layer. That is in the ABAP perspective.
It's going forward. You is in our course, correct? ABAP.
Yes. Once we complete this AMDPs, okay, we'll be starting with ALV IDS. So at that time, we'll be discussing that kind of scenario.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sir, one quick question.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, do we have SM37 kind of things in HANA DP level?
And there is background jobs you are saying, yeah?
Yeah.
No, that is again you are doing the ABAP layer only.
Okay.
No. See,
Sir,
the thing we need to understand is why we are moving to HANA databases. Instead of executing the logic in the application layer, we need to execute that business logic in the HANA database layer. For that, you have to use what code push down techniques. One of the code push down technique which you have used so far is only stored procedure. Like that, we have many code push down techniques. So that SM37, SM35, all those things again will work only at the ABAP layer only, not in the HANA database layer.
any kind of other mechanism any kind of similar mechanism in HANA DB level? Can we schedule some kind of reading? Okay.
No, we can't.
Sir, yesterday's one, the video you shared is not,
Yeah, I saw your mail just now, Raj. See, sometimes what happens is when you try to open the videos, it will give an error saying that unable to process, we are processing, something like that, you get the message. So the problem is the buffering issue. So you just try it after some time, you should get it. Okay. Understood. Even if you get the same issue again, let me know. Okay, I'll reshare it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get that issue because of buffering only.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Sir?
Yes, Lakshmi?
Sir, the example what we have seen in the import by using the import tool, we have updated the table only for one table. We have updated the data. In case if it is a flat file or the Excel file is having multiple tables data, will that tool propose the multiple tables also?
No. That utility tool, it is only for one table. So at that time, we have to use something called as SLTs, SAP Landscape Transformation Tools. Then I can migrate the data to what required target tables. What are the navigation I've shown you? It is only for one table. Okay. So this SLT also I'll try to cover going forward, but I need to check it from my end once whether I can show it practically or not. So let me check it, then I'll definitely discuss.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Because when you use that import tool, it will ask you enter the target table. It will not say enter the target tables. Only one table I can give there.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll stop for today. We'll continue tomorrow. I have not shared the notes. Still was a little busy from last 1 week or so. I'll try to share the notes definitely today. I've shared all the recordings, but notes I have not shared from last two sessions, Friday's session and yesterday's session. I'll share it today. Okay.
Sir, can you please share the PDF
The video
document
is
what
not
you
there
have for
for
the
me.
syntax?
I tried multiple times.
Sorry, Srilakshmi?
Can you please share the PDF document, sir? Like for the syntax, you have told me.
Right. Actually, the PDF document, whatever I'm having is it's the same thing. In the anyway, I'll share it. Yesterday, I think day before last week, I've shown you how to see the help. Okay,
Document.
so same thing, same information will be there, but you'll have it in the PDF format. I'll share it today. I'll share it.
Okay, sir.
That PDF also is prepared from this standard help only. Okay, almost same, but here you'll have many things. That PDF has got limited information. I'll share that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I see that the video is not playing. I tried multiple times. Also, can you share it
Still
again?
same problem, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
I'll reshare it. Okay.
thank you.
What about other videos? Only yesterday's video or other videos also?
Yesterday you sent two videos, right? So one of the video
Correct.
is working fine. So one of the
Acha,
video
acha.
is not working.
Okay. So let me retry today.
11th day video is not working. 11th date, part 19.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. Do one thing. Whichever videos you are unable to play, just drop me a mail so that in my free time I'll again reshare. Not an issue.
Okay. Okay.
If those are having any problem in any video, okay, just try it for a couple of times. If you still didn't get it, please mail me so that I can do it according to the mail. Okay. Chalo then. So I'm winding off. We'll continue tomorrow.